now listening to the Good Bad Advice Podcast with Stephanie and Chase.
Hello. And I'd say extra hello to you, my queen, because I've not seen you.
It's been a minute.
It feels like forever. I feel like I've lived 1,000 lifetimes in the past 7 days.
I know it seems like because we have a podcast that we're super close. We're not. This is the only time we see each other.
Well, we talk multiple times a day on various levels. But there's just something about how long a particular week feels that suddenly you're like...
Last week was torturously long.
You are preaching to the choir,
Every day
sis.
I was like, it's Tuesday. It was a nightmare.
Thankfully, I have a very short week. This week I have a very fun week because Steven last year really had a hard maybe 14 months, the past 14 months.
Oh, yeah.
Then as like kind of coming out of this dark window, one of the things that he did that is really cool, and I hope he's cool that I'm sharing this on a podcast. So hi, babe.
We'll check in and maybe cut this out.
Is that he began, he's a musician, a composer, an arranger for a lot of other artists. Well, he has done his own passion project just for himself. Writing it's a prologue and 4-movement orchestral piece.
Whoa.
That is just to like reignite his love of doing music. And so today he's recording in the studio for 11 hours with full orchestra, woodwinds, brass. He's written the music for every single... It's so crazy. Yesterday I was helping him put together the sheet music, and it was like tuba, piccolo, French horn, trumpet, clarinet, oboe, bassoon, cello, violoncello. And I was like, you wrote all of the music for every single one of these pieces of like all these musicians.
My brain doesn't work that way. And also, I don't love anything to do it for 11 hours.
Well,
in a day.
I told him, I was like, I love you. I will come for just a little bit because I have to do like work.
Please send videos.
I'm very excited. And then he is performing 2 sold out shows in Tuacahn.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to fly down to Tuacahn on Thursday, fly back Friday, and then pick up my kids from the airport for the next 10 days for Thanksgiving.
Yay!
So how was your weekend?
It was really good. I actually found something this weekend that I think would interest you.
What?
Do you remember that little story we did on Van Leeuwen's? The Kraft mac and cheese ice cream?
No. Did you get it?
I did not get it.
You found where it is?
I found them.
Wait, where? Wait, don't tell everybody. Don't just tell me offline in case everyone's going to run to the store and take it from us.
So there is
Actually, say it now so nobody will. So we'll go there and it'll be empty.
There's a Kraft mac and cheese, a dill pickle, kettle corn.
Oh, that could be good.
Yeah, kettle corn could be good.
Yeah.
The other holiday flavors are like a peppermint candy.
Delish.
And I think there's a cookies and cream peppermint or something like that.
Where?
Should we do a taste test video?
We have to now.
Honestly, we could start doing mukbangs. Honestly,
I'm into a mukbang.
I'm so mad that I didn't get famous off of mukbangs because the way that I would go hard on a plate of ribs for a camera, if like I was getting paid to do that.
Yeah.
If that's what you guys want to see from me, I'll do it. Just Venmo me.
I was just gonna say I will do. When people are like, oh, I have really high standards, blah, blah. I'm like, would you do something crazy? Like, and I come up with something crazy that I don't want to say on a podcast, let's say. But whatever. I say, would you do this for $100 million? Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. Would you do it for $10 million? Well, yeah, of course. Would you do it for $1 million? Yeah, obviously. Would you do it for 100? I'm like, my purchase price is so alarmingly low.
Like
for something,
$10K, maybe, like for things
if someone were to be like, will you do this for $1,000? I'd be like, it's $1,000, really quick money.
It's really fast money, quick as I've ever heard. No, I'm on team like selfie pics. That's like the limit. I think I extend to. My mom has like very.
Wait, are you saying you sold selfie pics?
No.
I was like, wait. I would have been a part of this.
No, yeah, you would have been the.
I would have been doing
photographer.
The pictures. Yeah.
I once told my mom that I was gonna sell her feet pics because she has like the cutest, daintiest feet. And I'm like, I'm just going to start taking pictures of her feet and selling them on the internet. And then I was like, but it would get weird because like somebody would eventually request like your feet in spaghetti. And like I'd have to randomly like walk up walk up to you with a
Wait.
bowl of spaghetti,
Your
like just
feet
shove
in
your
spaghetti?
feet.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. Just saying, like, people get weird on the internet.
That's true.
And I'm like, hey mom, could you just put your feet in some spaghetti for me for
Hey
a sec?
mom, how fresh is that butternut squash? Just wondering. And then I know this sounds weird, but do you have a dozen nutcrackers you could just put your toes in?
You put some acorns between your toes. Some squirrel wants pictures of your toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Wait, how did that have to do with this weekend? Oh, mukbang. You found so glad we found us back to the road. We had gone off on a detour and we were just about to jump off a cliff.
The way that I would love to film myself eating a chicken finger with like ranch dribbling down my chin for money, like that is what I would like to be doing with my life.
Yeah. Oh,
but I missed it, you know?
I am here for it. The things I'd be willing to do on camera for money.
What's crazy is you know what I wouldn't do on camera?
Same.
Boot camps.
Oh, no, that double same.
Double same.
I would not. I thought you were saying something without saying something. I'm like, yeah, I ain't doing that on camera
yeah,
anymore.
no, that either.
But a boot camp for me, anything that makes me here. So when I was in about like 5th grade, I remember being at PE and I was going to the monkey bars and me being like, oh, good, I can do monkey bars. And I was like a very little kid.
Yeah.
But then I remember them being like, hey, you need to do a chin up. And then
A chin what?
And then the girls just had to hang. Rude.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do a chin up. And I remember everyone like watching and so-and-so went, Bo went, whatever, people went. And then it was my turn to go. And I remember just being like, like when you're praying and you're like, okay, like, have a good day and help us get there safe. And then when you're like praying, you're like,
please.
I have never asked for anything in my life. Please just help me do this dang chin up.
I will never swear again for the rest of my life.
I know, and I'm 11.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like so innocent. I'm like, I promise I'll always do the dishes. And I did 2 chin-ups. And I was like, prayer's real. God is good.
It's so much harder with long people. Like,
Wait,
to do a pull-up, it's so... I actually get passionate about this because I cannot do a pull-up. I think I don't know
if I could now.
1 pull-up in my life. And even when I was working, like, in really great shape, working with a trainer, she would be like, okay, let's do pull-ups. And I'd be like, no, I literally cannot.
I literally would like a pass. Thank you.
But I think it's because, like, people who are tall and, like, have long bodies, you like are us. Really pulling up so much more.
Yeah. And the like gravitational pull, I think, when you're really long like that, I would imagine is higher.
Here's the thing. I know you can't tell in this chair because it just like looks so elongated and and gorgeous. But I have a very short waist. My hip like starts right here. I'm
short torso.
Short torso.
That's from one of our very first. I also harken back to the Australian accent. It's on our socials. You guys have to go check that out.
I have a very short torso. I am all legs. And that is where the majority of the weight in your body is in your legs. So I'm not getting that up. Are you kidding?
I'm long torsoed, but huge feet. So I feel like that's also feet weigh a lot, and the inertia and the aerodynamic. Hey, do you have a bowl of spaghetti for me? I'm just like, someone asked me to whisk eggs with my feet. I'm like, I guess. That's how much?
So gross.
Then ching ching. I'm like, oh, okay, crack.
All right.
So you found that on this weekend.
Yes.
What else was a highlight?
Ooh, what else is a highlight? I finally finished both of my Christmas trees.
Oh, good. I haven't seen pics.
I'll send you some.
Okay, good. And then post it on the carousel.
Yeah, also I do need, though, a couple more bows because more is more.
Oh, always.
Not less is more.
Christmas, more is more.
More is more.
Yeah.
When it comes to Christmas. So I do actually have some finishing touches before I feel comfortable like putting it out on the internet.
Got it. Like, but when you're finished, you're going to share it with everybody.
Yeah. Okay, I actually had a couple of people text me. My sister texted me and was like, you need to send me the picture of the tree that mom said was homeless. And I sent it to her. She's like, no, I think that's cute. And I was like, thank you. But it does look a
meager offering.
And then I sent her the picture of my tree in progress. And she was like, oh, no, that's better. And I was like, yeah, that's why mom
I love Christmas trees. Yesterday or the day before, we were went to Target to just look at ornaments because we were going to put a tree in the basement for the kids, but then it just is like, it's going to be in the way. So I'm like, we'll just have the one tree.
Yeah, that's usually what I feel like about Christmas. It's just going to be in the way.
No, I just mean we don't have like a nook or somewhere where we can put the tree, and it's just a long room. So it'll just be like literally in the way. But I'll have to show you the coolest lit tree at Target that we bought. Ooh, it's not here yet.
I'm excited.
I'm gonna have to figure out how I find it to show you.
I really actually admire like my friend Megan. I'm like, what do you do on your Christmas tree? She's like, I just leave it with lights. I'm like,
wait, without ornaments?
She has like a few ornaments, but they like she has like white crate and barrel ornaments, and then she just like puts lights on it. And I'm like, I admire your minimalism. Couldn't be me.
Yeah, I'm a maximalist.
And
with a Christmas tree, I'm constantly thinking to myself, so the easiest way for me to go straight into poverty is to put a Christmas tree in every room of my house.
Yeah.
Because I will theme it. So, and then I'll change out the themes every few years, but then I keep all the ornaments. And so my current theme is like a woodland wonderland. Oh, so cute. It's like little woodland creatures with little Santa hats. Right now. And I've been doing that for a handful of years.
Yeah,
so
I think you're above the trend on that, honestly.
Yeah, totally. But I'm also kind of like, I want to move out of a trend. Yeah. I want to try something different. But then I was at a couple of different places looking at ornaments this weekend, and I thought I would have to like take out a small loan to do the tree that I would want to do. And so part of me is like, I'm just going to keep adding woodland until that tree falls over. When the branches are fully dipped and the tree looks more like a willow tree instead of an evergreen, then I'm like, okay, good. We've reached ornament capacity. We need to get a new tree. Yeah.
But what's great about that method, so my parents, they have like smaller trees in their house that are like just 6-foot trees, but they're very skinny. And my mom has created like segmented trees. Like she has a Mary Englebright tree that's gold and like golden yellow, red, and black. And what she does every year, she wraps them in saran wrap, doesn't redo them, and just puts them downstairs.
Oh, amazing.
And she has an Italy tree as well for my dad that he puts in his office. They're pre-lit, wrapped every year. She just has to like fluff it. And then you have like themed trees in other rooms. Yeah. But you don't have to put that much work into it.
But that requires like a storage space of the gods.
Oh, yeah.
As we're doing plans for our new house, we were looking at basement storage options, and we had like an extra bedroom down there and next to like where the storage room was. And I was like, we're not going to use an extra bed. Like, we don't need an extra bedroom. We're going to put a weight room down there, like a workout room. Like, we want to go to the gym. We're not working out to look better. We're going to the gym to look at all the dudes working out.
Houses don't have the storage anymore.
No, that's the thing. You need to have a full bunker in order to just saran wrap your trees.
Yeah, and it's crazy because people are just putting in extra rooms because they, property value, whatever. Yeah. One of our guest room essentially downstairs, I'm like, I wish this was a storage room. Yeah. I would love to put up some storage shelves in here.
Totally.
And then a guest bed, I guess.
But sounds like a good weekend then.
Yeah, very good weekend.
Good.
I am going to get those ice creams, though, and make us try them. Ooh. We'll do like a mini vlog.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, we're like vloggers.
We're influencers. Speaking of, we went to an influencer event this past week.
Yeah, for Good News Brand.
Yes, we felt it was very hard actually to be telling them why we were there, because we were like, no, we're the Good Bad Advice podcast, but then it was also like Good News Brand. I was getting them confused. Yeah. It was also a very Jesus heavy event.
And a Jesus heavy event where
brand was a little...
I did drop an F-bomb, but it was an F-bomb for Jesus. I told this story after.
When I tell you people's heads turned, that's not a figure of speech. That's an actual description of what physically occurred when Stephanie dropped the F-bomb in speaking to someone who she had just met
today, who, by the way, is like a very affluential person in Utah.
Yes.
Like, if I said their name, you would all know who it was. Yep.
And Steph and I are talking. We're like, yeah, and I'd even joked like, oh yeah, we're definitely on our best behavior.
Yeah. And she goes, But, you know, like, I just, like, sometimes when you're talking about Jesus, you get so passionate. Like, I just have, like, actually, like, looks secretly,
around.
I've, like, actually, like, cursed when I'm, like, you know, like,
I just get so excited about scripture or something, like a little swear comes out. And her idea of a little swear is like, well, I'm just so damn excited. Like, that is what I think was happening.
And I took it to, I love Jesus.
She's like, yeah, totally. Sometimes I'm just like reading scripture and I'm like, I love Jesus. And when I'm telling you, it didn't help that the food was butter boards at an influencer event. So very few people were eating those. So there was not a lot of noise. It wasn't like people were chowing down on popcorn or something crunchy. So it was so quiet. And then just like 3 or 4 people like turned, glanced, side eye. The man who was standing with us literally did the timeout sign and turned around. It was a real showstopper.
I need to tell you, don't take me to influencer events if you don't want me to drop an F-bomb about
Jesus. That was literally the first one. I was like, Steph, you want to be my +1 to this event? And she's like, yeah, I would love it. I was like, okay, great. We're leaving
I'm so sad.
We're leaving the event, and Stephanie, we have our little gift bags. We're trying to put them in the back seat, and Stephanie gets in the car because you swore, and we basically left.
Yeah, we did.
That was like our exit. It wasn't an Irish exit. It was like a straight up.
I love Jesus. Goodbye.
Yeah, and so we get in the car, and Stephanie just looks at me and goes, I probably shouldn't come to influencer events.
I'm so sad Megan wasn't with us at that time because I think she would have loved it.
I know. I'm confident that that story is being told from an entirely different vantage point.
So you
These
know
random
that guy,
people,
Chase.
So Chase, who was there at the event?
I would just, it was a little shocking. I don't. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
no,
so
that
funny.
was genuinely though. When I left, I called Traven and told him. I didn't tell him the story yet, and I go, I dropped an F-bomb. And he said, why? Why would you do that? And I said, no, listen to the story. It's actually really funny.
It is really funny. It also will mean that I likely will not be invited to another one of those events unless I call and I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry. Just so you know, she'll behave next time she comes. She'll keep the profanities to just biblical.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Thank you for listening to that story because... Yes. I don't drop F-bombs often, but I will drop it for Jesus. And that's our advice of the week.
and that's the episode.
Anyway, we had a great
one and done. My weekend was super good. It was very busy. I'm in my Mrs. Doubtfire era right now, where I'm kind of like...
Dressing up as a woman?
No. But yes, because I was Taylor Swift just like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, you know, the do it like a lady vacuuming through the house.
Yeah.
That was me this whole weekend. You know how you put certain things on a honey-do list?
Did you know that song says, dude looks like a lady?
Wait, what? Mm-hmm. Dude looks like a lady, got it. Do it like a lady, got it.
Dude looks like a lady.
Wait, who wrote that song? Was it for Mrs. Doubtfire? Song. Did they write it for Mrs. Doubtfire?
Is that like wild? Will you look that up? Because if it's not an Aerosmith song, that's crazy that I just said Aerosmith.
Okay, wait. Mrs. Doubtfire soundtrack.
Dude looks like a lady. Did I make all
Dude looks like a lady.
I told you. Who's it by?
Steven Tyler? Which would be
Aerosmith,
but it just says written by Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, and Desmond Child.
Thank you. I am
performed by Aerosmith. Yes,
I am a pop culture podcast. I literally know everything.
I cannot believe that I came prepared to talk about being in my Mrs. Doubtfire era because I was doing it like the ladies and getting shiz done.
No, dude looks like a lady.
And now everything has just been turned right up on its heel, on its head. It's so. So they wrote the song "Dude Looks Like a Lady." Yeah. Can someone please tell me the order? Like, how did we come up with that? Was it for Mrs. Doubtfire?
I have no idea.
Dude looks like a lady. Got it. Okay, that actually is so funny. I don't know why. Here I'm thinking to myself as I'm driving here, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna. And I haven't even seen the stories.
Yeah, I
Steph
added
put
them
them
for
in
you.
the list, so I will be seeing them blind. So I thought, oh, I haven't even looked at the stories yet. That's fine. We're just gonna talk about this weekend, and I'm like, oh, I'm excited to tell everybody I was in my Mrs. Doubtfire era because I was doing it like the ladies, getting stuff done. No.
Nope.
Little different, but I did get so much stuff. You know how you put stuff on a honey-do list to die?
Yeah.
Like it'll never get done. I got so many things off of like a honey-do list done. Rug carpet grippers for all of our rugs that were kind of sliding. I was like, we got that. Shower hooks so that I could like hang up our little scrubber dubbies things on the shower. Like things that we had just been talking about doing for a long time.
Yeah, that you just
I got all Christmas all my Christmas shopping is done.
Ugh.
I got all my wrapping basically set up to do. I was just like, I was getting stuff done. Steven was on tour, and so I was just like, Mrs. Doubtfiring it. I was just, dude looks like a ladying it. So that's
I was just, dude looks like a lady.
That would have been a really great Halloween costume. Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah. Like I'd be Mrs. Doubtfire, you'd be
the
Robin
makeup
Williams.
Artist?
No, you'd be
I'd be Robin Williams.
You'd just be normal Mrs.
Honestly,
Doubtfire.
I could not be Robin Williams for an hour.
Him so much.
I
R.I.P.
would literally start to cry. I would be like, this is not fun anymore.
I know. Ugh. Talk about like such a talent.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, I got a ton of stuff done. I felt really, really productive, in part because I have such a busy week, and then the kids are here, and we do Thanksgiving. It's my year for Thanksgiving instead of Christmas, and so we're doing our Christmas now. So that's why I have everything wrapped up. And they listen to this episode, so hey kiddos,
ignore my F-bomb.
You didn't do an F-bomb. You just talked about an F-bomb, thankfully, because we're still keeping this clean.
Yeah.
Although last week, I understand, I did drop SHIT.
Oops.
So my friend Megs was like, so you had your first SHIT on the podcast.
I didn't even notice.
And I was like, at some point, I was saying, who gives an SHIT when they put up their Christmas trees? But that's, to be fair, that's a proportionate response. But she was saying, and the Shaws were saying the same thing, that one of these days we should just do a full explicit episode and we just get it out. It's just like the purge. We just do it once a season, and it's just like, it's really alarming. Like, do not let your kids around, not even in the same house. Don't listen if you have children.
Even some of the people that I know who are listening to this normally, please don't listen to that episode.
Yeah, totally. We'd be like, we should do that for the last episode of the year. A little recap, explicit recap is what it could be called. Assistant, write that down. Like we have one.
I know I'm going to go through this episode later and be like, what did we say that we were
100%. What Stephanie is like, wait, what thing should we put in the carousel for the episode? I'm like, I have no idea what we talked about.
I blacked
My
out.
brain, fully. When I hear other podcasts and they're like, hey, James, put this down. And it's like, okay, type.
We should make up a fake assistant in the room.
Oh my gosh, that is so amazing.
Stuart?
To just be like, hang on, I'm gonna have my assistant Stuart get a hold of you.
Stuart
will send a message. I can't do Stuart because Stuart from Mad TV. Yep. That's where my brain goes. We can't do that, or else I'll only.
We'll think of one.
We're gonna think of one, but that's also such a boss move for like your own personal brand. Be like, I'm gonna have my assistant Lindsay reach out to you, and then your assistants, you create a new email account.
Hi, this is Stephanie's assistant.
It's just me.
I'm patching her in.
It's me. I'm Lindsay. I'm calling on behalf of Stephanie Darrow. Yeah, you gotta get. You have a PR box for it. Like, I feel like we could be each other's faux assistant. I mean, I have an actual assistant, so we could just use mine.
Have a real assistant.
I don't know why.
That's weird because it's condescending on the podcast.
No.
We're not.
I'm like,
Brittany,
wouldn't that be so funny if you had an assistant? And then it's like, I'm looking at a picture. We're in her office right now. I'm looking at the picture of her 3 kids. I'm like, sorry, Britt.
No, a fake podcast assistant that's like funny that we can condescend on the podcast.
Totally be like, oh my, what are you doing? Yeah. A new character.
We gotta think of a name.
We're going to have that by next week. We're going to have really thought back on that. All right, let's get into some advice to people in the news. That is the premise of the show. We are the Good Bad Advice podcast. I don't think we never say this. We really need to.
We really
Hi, I'm Chase.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
Hi, we have a podcast.
You know who
we know who you are. All 11 of you.
friends.
We're so grateful you're here. Yeah, please send this to your dang friends. All we want for Thanksgiving gifts, and we should start Thanksgiving gifts. All we want for a Thanksgiving gift, you guys, is please just post one of our things on your stories and help spread some of the word.
Yeah. Our funniest reel.
Yeah, just
in your eyes,
or any reel. I don't even care if it's funny.
Taylor
just
Swift one really took off for us.
Yeah, that one really did amazing. We're just looking for that next viral moment.
Speaking of Taylor Swift.
See, speaking of, first people in the news that we're giving advice to, Travis Kelce is in Argentina with, I don't know why I said it like that, but with Taylor Swift, our new Roman Empire. Let's just give the highlights of some things that happened.
Yes.
First off, he looked hot as hell.
Oh my gosh, he looked
I love a dude that can be wearing floral and like crocheted tops, but he just like could rip that open.
He is corn fed.
What he is beef raised. I mean, he is a daddy who like could snap you in half. And then he's like putting on a cute little floral crocheted-ish. Some textured.
I saw a TikTok of this little girl who saw a picture of Travis Kelce. She goes, he's so handsome. And every time I think of him now, I just go, he's so handsome.
You know, I think of him. I think of, did you see Jason Kelce's daughter? They're like in a hotel room and she goes, Daddy, but you didn't win. You didn't win. Uncle Travie win. And so when I see...
and that's when you want to punch
Travis Kelce, and Jason Kelce is also,
he's the better
he was
brother.
in the running for Sexiest Men Alive, which I know we're going to talk about later.
Yes.
But he was asked about it, and he was like, I was not shocked. I was surprised it took them so long to finally recognize me. And I just like, he is so funny. But then his daughter, so he handled the daughter thing, but when I see Travis Kelce, I think, Uncle Travie win.
Travie win.
Because he is winning.
He's so handsome.
So he's in Argentina. Taylor Swift did a couple of insane, overt moves. And keep in mind, when she started the Eras Tour, she was still technically with Joe.
Yes, maybe.
And that maybe, we don't know. But then she was with Matt Healy.
For a minute
while on the Eras Tour.
She was closing up an old fling.
But I'm saying she was still with other men. So it's not like, well, if she was with the man, of course she's going to shout out to them on the show. It was clear she had other men during the Eras Tour that she could have been showing, could have been participating.
This much public fanfare for.
Zero.
None.
And then Travis Kelce flies on his bye week, which now all the gays, theys, and she's gays and theys know what a bye week is.
Girls, gays, and theys.
Girls, gays, and theys. I never really get it right.
It's okay.
Apparently I'm not a part of the community. So they, like,
it's his
their
week
bye
off,
week.
Essentially.
Yeah, a week off. He flies down to Argentina. He's in the booth with
her dad, who is wearing a Chiefs lanyard for his VIP thing.
Obsessed.
I said to everyone, this is a dad who had to be pop star dad his entire life.
Yes.
And now he gets to be football dad.
And now
he's elated.
Oh, he's like, he is there doing pom-poms and glitter. He is full bedazzling boots, rhinestoning shoes. Like, he was in that world, still probably watching the game on his phone.
Yeah.
And then they're like, Hank, what's her dad's name? Scott, get it. We need to run. You got to go to Hobby Lobby. You know, like, okay, on a Saturday. Like, that is not where he wants his life to be. He's now, when he's thinking of his future son-in-law, and you're right.
He's like,
he'd gone through a bunch of whack jobs, dudes. Yep. Like, none of those men watched football, let's be honest. Joe didn't watch football. Matt didn't watch football. Like, and so Scott's just like, son of a bitch. And then here comes Travis flipping Kelce, and he's like, thank you, God.
So the Argentina crowd started a new chant for Taylor, which is ole, 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 Taylor, Taylor. And they were doing it every show, every night. There is a video of Scott Swift filming Travis Kelce doing the ole chant, but he is zoomed in so far. It's so like old person
old
coded.
Man.
He is zoomed in so far. It's literally just like the square of Travis's face. But I'm like, look at him even just being like, oh, I need a video of this for Taylor.
Yeah. So let's go over a couple of the things that happened there that were very different. One, she changed the lyric in Karma to say, Karma is the guy on the Chiefs coming straight home to me.
Which was previously a line about Joe Alwyn, her ex, which was Karma is the guy on the screen coming straight home to me. She changed it.
Which, Travis Kelce is still that man on the screen.
And his reaction.
Not the silver screen.
His reaction.
When he covers his face.
He's giddy. They're so excited.
And
they're so
Scott
in love.
is there with his camera. No, not with the camera,
Scott
but he
literally,
looks at
like,
him and he's like, "It's you.
It's
She
you."
put it
They're
in."
like two guys in high
The
school.
dancers-
And then he like cheers.
Cheers. And then the dancers are all freaking out
I
when
have watched
they hear it.
360 degrees
Same.
of this
Oh,
reaction.
Same. I could tell you how much
I
sweat
know
they have.
what jacket of dancer.
Yep.
Like each dancer is wearing.
Yep. Same.
You could name a jacket color and I could tell you the way they reacted. I have watched every video I can find on the internet of this concert. I love love. I love it.
I love it so much. So the other things that are of note, that she sings Endgame as the surprise acoustic song, and then all of the lights in the bracelets that everybody gets there lights up to the colors of the Chiefs.
The colors of the
yellow
Chiefs.
and red.
Honestly.
A dream. And then at the end, she's running off stage into the arms of the man, and she jumps into him, and then they kiss. And when I...
a moment of silence. I think that's enough.
Never enough. Here's my advice. We've already talked about letting people be in love. Mm-hmm. My advice is actually to the people who are in love. Mm-hmm. Be in love and loud.
Yep.
I think the world needs to have as many reminders of like beautiful, happy, romantic gestures, fun. Like if I did this podcast, for example, and never talked about Steven, or I never was like, hey, and I had a little nod to like my person, that would be such a huge miss. Yep. And if it was like, well, I'm just trying to keep it, professional, just trying to keep it for what the brand is, or what the audience expects, and it's just not authentic to my life.
Yeah.
That's where I just feel like I'm so grateful. People take note. Mm-hmm. Travis was not trying to be Mr. Cool. He was letting himself be in love. Taylor was not trying to be super calculating. She was letting herself be in love. Mm-hmm. And I think that is the coolest type of love to be in, is when you surrender to it.
Yeah, I feel like this is the first time she has had effortless love.
And that's on God.
Like, it just looks so effortless for her. Even during the show, during 1989, I love the players, and she points over at him. Yeah. It's like, one thing about Taylor Allison Swift is that she is a chuggy millennial. Mm-hmm. She is, and you know what? So are we.
Oh,
so your shirt says hustle. We have pumpkins on our thing.
One of them's wearing a mustache. Like, we could not be more chuggy if we tried. And that's actually the definition of chuggy.
But I've never worn chevron, so I just feel like that's a win for me.
Okay, well, I have.
You've worn chevron?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? In like a suit jacket. It's
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah. It's more like a herringbone. But.
She is very cheesy. But you know what? Like, love should be. Especially an effortless love. I'm like, if I start seeing freaking men on podcasts being like, oh, this is so stupid, like, cram it up your cram hole. I don't want to hear it. Let people be in love. Let people be happy.
This is also like the fall is the perfect time to be in love with someone.
It's cuffing season.
It is cuffing season. It's just like you are out there, you're bundled up, you see your person, you're holding hands. You're being cute. Like Steven and I, when we were in Target, I was obviously stressing out about, do I take out a small mortgage on this new tree? And then we ended up just putting all the ornaments back, which was very hard for me. Steven knew that was just like giving away a child at an orphanage, like giving it back or something. I don't know. And so he was like rubbing my back. And at first I was like, oh, I don't want to like turn people off, or like, and we have to monitor that. Yeah. That's like a kind of a challenge of not being heteronormative.
Yeah.
It's like we never wanted to be offensive, but I was like, oh, because I'd seen Taylor and Travis be so demonstrative with each other and like open, I was just like, go right ahead, because he's so much more of a cuddler and a toucher, feeler than I am. I'm kind of like, business. We're doing ornaments. We're decorating the Christmas tree. This is guy stuff.
It's a man's job.
But I just say, let people be in love, and then let yourself. That's probably the first person you should let be in love. Is if you're not loving your life, you are doing it wrong. We only get one. I was talking to my friend Piper, who shout out Piper. I'm going to actually make you listen to this episode because we are obsessed with you. Yeah. We love you so much. I have known you obviously for a long time, but Steph just met you.
for the first time, and I'm like, can I marry her?
We get in the car, and
gorgeous.
After Stephanie apologized for being the most hilarious person in the room, she was like, also, can we please talk about how insanely gorgeous and perfect and kind and everything wonderful Piper was? Well, I had talked with her maybe 3 or 4 months ago about when we were doing this podcast, when we were starting this concept or the podcast, my initial concept for podcast was the cafeteria in heaven. Do you remember this? Because, and we were nervous about it feeling more religious than pop culture-y. But I wanted to be able to talk to people. And in my mind, when I'm up in heaven and I'm in like this dope cafeteria, like it's a P.F. Chang's, Cheesecake Factory, Bellagio buffet mix, right? Like this is an amazing cafeteria. And I'm in the cafeteria in heaven and I'm talking to people about my life. I want to be able to say to them, like, I lived a bomb-filled, a full, not a bomb-filled life. That some people probably will be saying that, and I'll have to sit at a different table. But I'm saying that I want to live like an amazing, full, wonderful, colorful, vivacious, exciting life. I want to run until I am dead. I just want, not physically run, obviously. I think that's
that
off
will
the
kill
table.
Me. I think that's
I'll run to my death. I'll just traffic.
This is not a running podcast.
Yeah, no. But I want
have running jokes.
Yeah.
But
I just want life to be so full. And Piper, when I sent her our message, we sent her a voice message, which I think, when you have a kind thought, don't suppress it. Just share it. Just send it. So we got in the car and we were talking about Piper. And so we just decided to record a voice note and sent it to her of just like, we're obsessed with you and you're amazing. She wrote me back and was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I have been thinking about the cafeteria in heaven. And you just like remind me that life needs to be like super full. Yeah. And I was like, that is kind of that is like a dominant feeling for me, is just living a full life. And that's what I feel like Taylor's doing. She's not trying to live small. She's not trying to like gauge certain things. She's like, I'm going to live me. I want it to live totally full, because at the end of the day, it's only you telling your story when you're in the next life. It's
true.
So obsessed.
I was kicking my feet like a little kid all weekend, just like,
yeah,
they're in love.
Yes. The amount of people that were posting on social media, but just being like, this reminds me about love. Yeah. I'm like, same sis. All right, now, CMAs were also this week. Yes. A couple highlights in my mind. The Morgan Wallen performance, amazing. Post Malone, amazing. I did not know Post Malone is now in a group and releasing country music. Obsessed.
I think he love a the crossover. Banjo, doesn't he?
I have no idea. I wouldn't be surprised, though. He kind of looks like a banjo player.
He's very talented. That's
fair. And so Jelly Roll wins. Huge new artist, a fairly stacked field, and I'm not a huge country fan, but my Oliver is. He loves Morgan Wallen. He loves a lot of country music, and so I was watching snippets of it and catching the news. This thing is so funny, because it says, did Jelly Roll break his CMA award? Not quite. Here's why. He had a momentous night Wednesday at the Country Music Awards, where he took home his first CMA award and gave a really great speech, but his night ended with an oops, which is so classic me. Yeah. Jelly headed backstage at the arena in Nashville to chat with the media. When he finished talking to the press, he dropped the award, which broke into pieces on the ground. But don't worry, it's the trophies used backstage are generic stage trophies.
He didn't know this.
No, nobody said, hey, this is like
somebody clarified after the fact. But he was literally like, first of all, everything I know about Jelly Roll has been like, I have not searched
entertainment
anything. But it's just come to me. Yes. It has been served onto my pop culture platter. I love him.
Okay, good.
Is so kind, so genuine, so thoughtful. He loves his wife. Speaking of loving people deeply.
Yes.
Oh, I don't actually know if they're married. Anyway, she's a podcaster. Her name is Bunny, I believe. Which is a choice.
Yeah, that is probably actually government name, and that is a sad choice.
But they are wonderful and lovely and humble people, and just like so gracious and kind. And When he walked up to the reporter after he dropped it, he was like, you could tell he was a little bit like, oh my gosh, they're gonna kick me out.
And he knows everybody's got cameras out. It's a press room, so he knows that everybody's documenting
was a shot
it.
of it shattered on the floor.
I've seen it. That I was gonna try to pull it up, but it was taking me to Twitter, and I was like, I don't remember my password. I'm not logging in. So funny for him. It's so me if I were to ever receive an award. It's just like Jenny Slate does a really funny stand-up bit where she talks about Susan being the most beautiful name in the world, that Susan commands the room and everyone just thinks Susan has it all together. She's like, and everyone thinks Jenny is just like this insane person. And so she's like, this is me walking into a room, and she like trips and stumbles and drops the mic and is like fumbling to get up. That is me on a daily basis. So I know that if I had an award and I'm like, don't drop the award, don't drop the award. What is my favorite? Oh, drop the award. Like, that is how fragile my brain and the awards are. So I love that for him. I also love, did you see Winona Judd had a hard time standing?
Yeah.
And she's a little older. We get it.
He did speak about it after and was like, she's fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think
like,
he's
totally,
I think he's a protector. Like, he's such a she was holding on to him. And he's just like a big dude, and he just was like, I'm
he
totally
was like her
there.
tree trunk.
Yeah, and even though it meant that he couldn't really be fully performing because he knew that he needed to like be a supporting role, physically and otherwise, I was like, go you, Jelly Roll. I've never heard any of his music. I'll have to listen to some of it today.
I've never heard 1 ounce of his
songs. I also
songs.
had never heard of Lainey Wilson. I learned that all the touring she'd really done was opening up for Jason Aldean, and then she wins Entertainer of the Year.
She opened up for Luke Combs.
And Luke Combs was nominated for Entertainer of the Year.
Honestly,
she was the opening act, and then she won.
Wild that he did not win this year.
Yeah, wild that did.
He's been snubbed in that category for a very long time. Yeah. And I thought that this year was finally going to be the one. I will say, Luke Combs concert, I have been to Beyonce floor twice, and Luke Combs is one of my top concerts.
Really?
It was so fun. The very first song, he walks out holding a red cup, and as like the beat drops on his first song, he drop kicks the red cup full of alcohol into the floor. It was
you and I have a very different definition of fun.
No, it was amazing.
If I go to a concert and the performer drop kicks a cup of alcohol and it gets all over me.
To be clear, I'm not sure if it was alcohol in there, because he did drop kick it. No, it could have just been water. He drop kicks it into the crowd, so I don't think he would.
I guess like when you're there, if you're close enough to be in the splash zone, he could do anything. He could murder a goat and splash blood all over everybody. Be like, we love it. You know, concerts are kind of culty.
That's not quite a country concert, though. It's like a corn concert.
Wait, what? Oh, for the blood?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just was thinking of like something so extreme.
Yeah.
That like if you're there and you'd be like, I guess it's a little uncomfortable, but we're here for it.
Yeah.
Selfie. So but here's my thought is to know if you are clumsy.
Yep.
Because I know I am.
Hand that to your assistant. Give it to your wife.
Fully. And just lean into it.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I'm very clumsy. Someone needs to hold this.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
oops, so
yeah.
sorry.
I'm going to
drop this.
Sure.
It's the not wanting to be authentically yourself.
Yeah.
Just owning your, like Q Oliver, love him so much, my son. He's so smart, so wonderful, so all of the things. He's also so clumsy that growing up, if he was facing like 12 o'clock and you were at 4 o'clock and you called his name, just him turning to look at you would cause him to trip on himself and fall down. Now that became like the joke. It's just like growing up, I used to spill. Thank you for pointing out I started to dither on my foot and it caught your eye and I was like, wait. So apologies honestly to everybody who are watching these, because I do not realize how much I am obsessed with my shoes.
You dither a little.
I dither a ton. And
it's okay. I sometimes don't know what to do with my hands. If you go back and watch the older episodes, my hand is like tucked here and I look like a robot. Like I do not move and I'm just like, I'm on a podcast.
It's so true that we really don't know too much. We're totally doing this blind. So the success we've had is so unwarranted. It's so lucky. We're it's not like we know exactly what we're doing.
Confidence.
Totally. But it really is so funny that we're just like, we look back and then we'll say like, hey, next time we're filming, will you please just look at my foot if I'm like full blown giving it a Swedish massage, because that is a lot of what these videos do. And then in the social cuts, you have to like focus most of the time on you, because if you cut to me, I'm like drinking, scratching my armpit.
That was me last episode. I kept trying to do social cuts and I'm like playing with my hair. I'm just like, girl, stop. Don't stop touching it.
It's so funny because when we get into it, we're not thinking about how things are translating online. But okay. Anyways, know if you're a klutzo, and be
hand that award to somebody else.
Yeah, I just think be cool with it, but don't be ignoring those things. Just ask for help. Patrick Dempsey is (parentheses) finally, according to People magazine. People magazine's sexiest man alive. I've always been the bridesmaid, he jokes. For those of you that don't know who Patrick Dempsey is, he is McDreamy.
Get a life if you don't know.
In Grey's Anatomy.
Rom-com hero.
He's in Enchanted.
Oh, I love that movie.
He is he has aged like a fine wine. Yeah.
Also, he just like is always doing things in like his community. He's a good man.
Yeah.
I believe. He's a good man, Savannah.
I mean, just look.
And is he?
Like.
He's lovely.
He just seems like.
There's a
first
reason
off,
his
I
name is
want
McDreamy.
gray hair like this. That's how I want my gray hair to come in.
Like so.
Just like nicely. So. I'm sure it's not all real. I'm sure it's like colored and someone did a very good job on it.
It's toned for sure.
But that's a really beautiful way to go gray, is to have it be like the gray black.
Is just getting white coming in like right here. And it is just like the perfect salt and pepper like coming in on the sides. I'm like, you're handsome.
I know. I love a silver fox like that, where it slowly goes in.
Honestly, I'm a little surprised it wasn't Pedro Pascal this year though.
Yeah, it was. I thought the same thing. I thought it would for sure be him. I thought it was the year of him or Travis Kelce. I could have seen him being picked as the sexiest man alive. I love that his brother was in the running for it so much. But if you had to pick your sexiest man alive, celebrity. So you can't say your husband. Steven's off the table. You can't pick me again.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
Quit trying to make that happen.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about this in therapy. No, if
in our couples therapy.
Who would you? I wish we should go. Like friend therapy. We should normalize friend therapy. To be like, hey, I just want to like.
I have to say though, if you have to go to friend therapy with that friend.
No, I just don't.
I don't know if you should be friends.
You know what Stephanie and I do? Speaking of therapy, we do one step removed therapy. So Stephanie pays for her therapist with her with each week, and then she will tell me about things her therapist says. So I get like secondhand
double
therapy, and then I do the same. When I go to Christina, I
then call them meaner, and yours is more friendly. So
mine is more friendly and a little bit more hope filled. I feel like, and then yours is a little bit more like ardent and militant in some ways, and so we have a yin yang. So we each just pay for one therapy, but we get two.
Get both.
We get like 1.5.
Yeah, because sometimes Mark will be like, I mean Schmark, if you don't want your name out
Tark.
there, unless you probably do, because I could send referrals. Schmark will be like, you know what? I don't even remember where this was going.
No, you were saying about him being really ardent and like pretty direct. I could give you lots of examples where he's been direct to me, not to me, but through you. And then I felt very personally attacked, because he's huge on like accountability, being responsible for yourself.
Yeah. He's
owning
very
that.
Much like own your crap.
Yeah.
Like being accountable, where I will, recommend him to people and I'm like, but he will hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
But I've also known him for a very long time. So he will say things to me that I'm like, that was crazy. And then I'll tell Chase and he's like, I don't think you need to follow that advice. Like you can be my voice of reason sometimes when I'm like, well, Mark told me to do this. And you'll be like, that's nuts. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what's a better version I can do? Like you help me temper some of Mark's advice sometimes.
Yeah, that's, I think,
you don't
fair.
have to 100% listen to your therapist.
No. Okay, let's go through, though. They've got 13 on the list, and let's just agree or disagree. Sexiest TV star, James Marsden. Did you see him in that jury show? James Marsden?
Oh, you know what? I agree. Also in Enchanted.
You want to start a podcast? Also in Enchanted, but James Marsden, did you ever watch the show where he is a juror?
No,
And
I saw all of the clips on TikTok.
I loved that show.
Was it so good?
It was so... I need to remember the name of it. It was... Just look up James Marsden Juror Show.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Such good TV. Okay. Sexiest blockbuster star, Chris Hemsworth, agree.
Mm-hmm.
I could make a joke
He's been
about...
sexiest man alive, though.
Yeah.
Before, so...
Well, that's okay.
Could have given it to someone.
Sexiest athlete?
Travis Kelce?
Travis Kelce. So good job. Sexiest musician, Harry Styles. Sexiest morning show host. Okay, let's be real.
We made
that
this
is
up.
a
This ain't
gift.
you.
That is a Mark
we record in the
Consuelos
morning, so that is
fully.
you.
And sexiest podcast host, Chase. What? My
What?
God.
Oh my god.
Sexiest grandpa. Who would you pick?
Grandpa. I have no idea.
Okay, so they have 4 pictures here, and then I'll tell you.
Al Pacino?
All right, no. Okay.
Al Pacino is not sexy.
Kurt Russell, Al
Oh,
Roker,
that's-
Michael
Kurt Russell.
Douglas, or Pierce Brosnan.
Kurt Russell is who I would
Pierce
have voted
Brosnan.
For. Yeah, Pierce Brosnan is handsome.
That's my brother's name.
he needs
Pierce.
to get his teeth fixed, though.
Does
He
he?
needs new veneers.
Oh, my brother's named Pierce Brosnan
They're
because
looking
I'm
a
pretty
little
sure he was
British.
conceived during a Pierce Brosnan film.
Wait.
Yep.
Okay.
Sexiest Pedro Pascal, dog dad Pedro. So there were a bunch of different Pedro Pascals, and they picked dog dad Pedro.
They should have
Look at
just
him.
given him
Yum.
his own. He should be.
He should have just been it for sure. Sexiest funny guy, Chase Walker. I guess they spelt it Trevor Noah, but
That's
they used
crazy.
his picture. It's just, I gotta call Janet. She said something different.
Janet is a good secretary name.
Janet, honey, can you get
Or
people on the
Julie.
phone? I don't
Julie.
know. They say apparently the funniest, sexiest funny guy was Trevor Noah. Can you ask what happened? Sexiest Ken is Ryan Gosling.
Simu Liu is somewhere punching the air.
I know he was runner up. He's Yum City. Sexiest new dad, Tom Hiddleston. Did not know he was a new
I
dad.
did not know that either.
Sexiest TikTok star. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. They don't even have his name. They just show a picture of him with his armpits.
I agree.
I'm not an armpity dude, so when people are like sexy, I'm just like, oh god, I hope you're wearing deodorant.
your arms
Sexiest
down.
podcast host. What?
Were you nominated?
They didn't get my email.
Oh my
looks
gosh,
like
that's so rude.
I said
Jason
urgent.
Bateman.
Taylor Lautner. I mean, to be fair,
that's cool.
he is.
He has
is
his
Jacob.
own podcast. Oh, he does. It's Taylor and Taylor or something like
Nope,
that.
The Squeeze with his wife Taylor.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Dak Shepard, Nick Vile, and Dom Gabriel. So, maybe next year, 2024 is the year of me.
I'll submit you. I'll nominate you.
Will you please?
They're
Can
like,
we use a different body?
You have 4 followers.
We have more than that. 5 or 6. Sexiest guy you're streaming doing to do the strike, Jensen Ackles. And that's it. So a good list by people. But really the advice for people is broaden your search, include podcasters from Salt Lake City. Like
if
me.
I can't get on the list, I'll put you on the list.
Wait, even if
do
you
they
can.
have a sexiest woman alive? I don't think they do that.
They have in the beautiful issue, the most beautiful woman in the world. The most beautiful woman is theirs.
Because women can't be sexy? Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, we're just
okay.
Be in the kitchen. Okay, that's where you shine.
Most beautiful sandwich maker.
Most beautiful. People's most beautiful people. Oh, that was 2005. People's most beautiful person. Oops.
Oh, gosh.
2023. Sneak peek photos. Oh, it was Melissa McCarthy. That's right. With the insane cover.
Gosh, she is
Look at
pretty.
That. Gorge, stunning, everything.
Also, probably one of the funniest women alive. I would put her in like. I probably list like Carol Burnett at the top, and then like Melissa McCarthy. She's so funny.
And they have a much more diverse list on the people's most beautiful women. Ali Wong, Rihanna, Jamie Lee Curtis, Cheryl Lee Ralph, Margot Robbie, Lizzo, Selma Hayek, Jane Fonda, Angela Bassett. That's a better list than the
Bassett
list.
did the thing.
Angela Bassett did the thing. Gosh, we're so good at pop culture. Okay, breezing through our next story. Thank goodness we can finally put an end to SAG-AFTRA. SAG-AFTRA.
SAG-tra.
Sandra Bullock has...
Jan Fraser. Fran Dresser.
Fran Drescher. Jessum freckum has done the thing. Jessum freckum. That should be the name. Hang on, I gotta write that down. That needs to be the name of the episode.
Jessum freckum.
Jessum freckum. Jessum freckum has ended the SAG-AFTRA, and we're so relieved.
Somebody's listening to the podcast right now, like, it's literally not that funny.
Okay, wait. What was the name?
Jessum freckum.
Jessum fragra.
Oh my gosh, I have to mention something in relation to the Taylor Swift, which is I promised I would mention.
Okay.
I was texting my niece Morgan about the Taylor Swift stuff, and she's like, I fell out of my chair. I'm dead. I'm unwell. We were like just all caps for like 4 hours, sending texts back and forth. I'm like sending her videos, every angle. She sent me a few angles, which is like completed my full 360 view. So shout out to Morgan, because she was really getting me through that night, because Chase was not being super responsive with his texts.
To be fair, I was kind of dealing with a family situation this weekend.
So I was leaning on my family to get me through that moment, because I was like...
Your other family.
Yeah.
Your God-given family.
Yeah.
Ugh.
My niece Morgan, she was pulling me through.
Good job, Morgan. Morgan, we love you here. Steph really does say incredibly positive, kind things about you.
Because she's the best. She's like the coolest teenager I know. I don't know a lot of teenagers, to be clear. But
my coolest teenager is my niece, Ava. Aves, we love you. And Megan's daughter, Daphne. And actually, all of Megan's daughters are like dope. Bales.
Also, anyone younger than me, you're also a teenager.
Literally, anybody who can't vote, you're all teenagers to me. Like, that's how it all works. And you're all way cooler than...
But if you're in your early 20s, you're still a teenager to me.
100%. Mads, Bales, Daff, Jack, Dunks.
You're just saying sounds.
Wong, ding, slam. Nice. SAG-AFTRA has ended, which is honestly, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Now, what is really funny, what I have loved seeing are the people that are like, now that I'm not being banned from posting, like Garcelle posted, now that I can finally promote projects I'm really proud of, please go watch this, please watch this. So I have kind of loved watching a bunch of people who are like, hey, catching up on the last, 4 months.
8 things I need to promote.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for good content, because I feel like the movies have been suck lately.
Yeah.
And even Marvel's got...
There's going to be some good content that we're catching up on.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be like 6 months of nothing.
Well, and I feel like they've already pulled a bunch of things to be delayed so that we have something we can watch. But right now it is slim pickings. Yeah. I am excited.
Honestly,
we're going to go to Hunger Games this weekend.
Stranger Things to end. Probably about as much as Millie Bobby Brown does.
Isn't it like a Demogorgon? Here's the thing. I was never a Stranger Things. Now.
You weren't?
No, but I don't like horror. I don't like...
It's not horror.
That thing's like... That is...
Sorry, what was that?
You know what I'm saying? Like the thing like opens and it's like...
No, it's not horror. It's sci-fi.
That's the same thing to me.
No. It's not the same thing.
Okay, well, it's sci-fi horror. Can we agree that it's like... Because sci-fi to me is Star Trek.
I'd say sci-fi thriller.
What's Star Trek?
Sci-fi.
What's Star Wars?
Sci-fi fantasy.
Oh my gosh, this is so complicated. This is like people's identities, honestly. It's just like, I just want more just action, comedy. I'm not built for all the variants.
It's okay.
But I'm growing and evolving.
I will educate you. I have a pop culture podcast.
I just really want them to... I think that the turnaround time on movies and shows is unnecessarily prolonged in a lot of ways, because they just want to build it up. I think they need to get to work fast.
Yeah,
and
because I
get
need
us
some
new
more
content
movies
now.
being released for Thanksgiving.
Seriously,
There's like a couple of Disney movies.
well, and we're doing Hunger Games.
I'd watch the
prequel.
Taylor Swift movie again.
It just got extended 8 more weeks, so through the end of the year. We're going to Beyonce. Like, there's some things that are coming out.
Oh, Beyonce, yes, that is
but
coming out.
I also just feel like there was an era of incredible just like release after release.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, I remember particularly when I didn't have my kids for a holiday, I would just go to movies. I lived across the street from movie theater. So I'd do movies by myself. It doesn't freak me out. I don't feel weird about it.
I love a movie by myself.
Love a movie by myself.
To be fair, I've only done it one time, but it was amazing.
My older therapist would be like, hey, when you don't have your kids, don't just be sitting around stewing about it and don't go out and get yourself into trouble. So just what are like safe things you could do that are really positive? And I was like, oh, I could go to the movies. And so I would go to the movies all the time. And so I remember holidays where I could go to a movie every single day for like 3 or 4 days and be equally excited each day.
I have to tell a
What
story.
are you smiling at? I'm like looking at my
So one
hands
time,
like, did I do
Traven
something?
and I went to a double feature. We went to Everything Everywhere All at Once, and then after went to the Nicolas Cage movie, which, by the way, the juxtaposition of those two movies next to each other was a lot. But in the second Nicolas Cage movie, my previous CEO walked in by himself. And, like, when I tell you, I was like, I could have never pictured you going to a movie by yourself. And he also was like, had left that company or pushed out of that company.
Right.
And I was like, I have to say, I just like saw him and I was like, that's really sad. But then if I go by myself, I'm like, I'm an empowered person.
That's
who
true.
goes to the movie by themselves.
Yeah, but if I see someone going into the movie by themselves, I either one, I'm nervous they're gonna shoot it up.
Yeah.
Or two, I just want to like be like, hey, could I get you an ice cream? Would you like an ice cream cone?
Do you want to share my popcorn?
And then he just like stares.
Actually,
He's
I
like,
would
no.
not share
I'm
my
like, I
popcorn.
just park right next to him. Anyway, it's hard going to movies by yourself. Am I right? Like, no, this is my dream.
No, I literally love this. Leave me alone.
All right, our last story is quite possibly the most insane news to come out of the news the past 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Dior releases skincare line. Makes sense.
Yeah,
They're a beauty brand. They're influential. They're a fashion house. Makeup is a great way to have the markups on that are insane.
skincare.
Oh, sorry. I need to finish the article. Headline.
Yeah.
Dior releases skincare line for babies, which includes $230 scented water and a $115 moisturizer. If you are buying designer anything for your baby, get out. Grow up. If you are putting them in little Gucci something,
unless you're investing in a designer bag for them to have at a later time in their life.
Yes, Jeff Lewis does that for his daughter Monroe. I love that.
But you
obnoxious.
are high. Babies have the best skin in the world. We literally say
smooth like a baby's bottom.
Like their skin is like butter.
Dewy. It's got that newborn scent.
Why are you gonna put things on a baby's skin?
And
it's
you just
perfect.
know that these women, no offense, women and gays.
Yeah.
When they have a surrogate baby.
Girls, gays, and theys.
They will be in there and they will be putting their diaper bag together and they're like, did you get the Dior skincare? We're almost out. We'll just have to use the Versace. Like, it's so insane.
Honestly,
and then they show up at the hospital.
get a spray bottle, squeeze some orange juice in it, and spray it on your child if you need something. Like you're kidding.
Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It is a That's a
reason. That's the baby smell.
Agreed.
Johnson baby wash.
I just don't know who in their right mind, if you're giving this as a gift, imagine when you have a baby. Okay, so you're
Please,
at your
when
baby
I
shower,
have a child,
and
if
I
you don't
am
get
like,
me
no,
Dior baby.
Imagine Dior baby skincare. So
Johnson
I'm like,
and
just
Johnson,
scented
but put
water.
the Dior label over it.
If you're like making your list for the things that you need for your baby, and you're like bassinet, swaddle, a ton of onesies, diaper, and then you go to a baby shower and people are giving you just like Dior baby face wash, like Dior cuticle nail files and whatever. the goop face you're gonna have to fake that this is what you wanted instead of a mamaroo.
Yeah.
And be like, same price, absolute waste. I actually do think if you're gonna have like
use it on my own skin. I wouldn't use it on my baby. Because like if it's safe enough to put on a baby, first of all, I don't know what animals they're friggin' testing that on to make sure they know it's safe enough to put on a baby. So first of all, but second of all, if it's safe enough to put on a baby, I'll put it up my nose. Like, that is safe quality.
So this says the $230 scented water, either in a pink pastel or mint green bottle, features hints of pear, wild rose, and
patchouli.
Hints of pear, wild rose, and white musk.
Why do you want your baby?
Why it gotta be white?
Why do you want your baby to smell musky?
Musky.
Maybe if you have a boy that looks like a girl.
I'm so shook. When you're in that Dior meeting.
Yeah.
And you're like, what are we doing? We got a new season. What are we going to do? Oh, I want to do shirts without armholes. Great. Bebés. I love it. And then they're like, Janet, you've been pretty quiet in the back. What do you have? I was just thinking we could expand our skincare line to children. Janet, you're amazing. You're a genius. What sense are you thinking?
They would have done better expanding into dogs. Honestly.
Well, I just think when they're like, what sense are you thinking? And they're like, pear, we love. Rose, dreamy. Musk, only if it's white. Like, it's so insane to me that somebody thought that this was a good idea.
No, it's a really bad idea. Again, I think
there are bad ideas. People are like, there's no bad ideas. This is one of them.
People will buy it for sure, but it's a bad idea. I think my advice would have been, you should have gone into dogs.
Yeah, dog
if
care.
You would have
they probably
given
do
me
have
a Dior
leashes. I think I bet
Dior
they do. I'm gonna look right now. Dior.
Like I would, but I gotta be honest. I'm not like Dior's demographic. I would buy a Chanel.
They have a $550 dog collar.
Let me see.
They have a $1,000 dog leash.
It looks more like girl dogs or like a Doberman Pinscher.
Well, it's just because they're using the. Oh my gosh, they have dog. Oh, they have a dog harness. They have an entire pet accessories.
Okay, well they should have expanded the line.
Literally in men's fashion. That's so funny.
They should have expanded the line.
So, there's that. That's like the dog leash.
Honestly,
with
Dior
like
just is like not made for me.
Most honestly, when you're a thick bitch like me, you are not wearing a lot of designer, because I know I went one time with my friends to Scottsdale. I have some very wealthy friends, and they were doing like a very wealthy Scottsdale weekend. Yes. And I was needing a weekend away, and so they're like, come with us. It's great. Which was great. I mean, like, we ate at Nobu. Yeah. Like, it was like rich. And so they had an appointment to go to with a private shopper into like these designer stores.
You just private shopper is all you needed to say.
And I was like along for the ride, wearing my Target jeans and a Old Navy sweatshirt.
And you buy a bandana while they're all buying.
No, I did not buy anything. Because the salespeople did not talk to me. Because I walked in and they're like, nothing will fit. What do you want, ma'am? Like, they didn't say that to me with their mouths, but they said it with their eyes. They said, for sure. And then someone did say to me when we were in Louis Vuitton, have you considered, do you have pierced ears? Because we could probably get you a stud, earring. I was like, that's what you think will fit me? Of everything in this horrid store,
sunglasses.
They were like, do you have a pierced ear? We could just do a little stud, a little diamond stud.
They could have upsold you on like a weekender bag.
Yeah,
they just said a stud.
Also, I wasn't going to spend any of that money because if it's not outlet, it is not going on this bad day.
No.
Or
Target. I love a designer outlet. I love a Kate Spade outlet.
Yes. You love Kate Spade, generally. Period. That is always the gift. Go-to gift for me, Honestly, you, is Kate Spade.
You could put one item in a Nordstrom rack, a messy Nordstrom rack. You could put one Kate Spade item in there, and I would walk right to it. I don't understand it. I will walk straight to a Kate Spade. In any situation, if I walk into a store, I could be in a TJ Maxx in Park City, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I love this. It's Kate Spade. Shocking. Shocking. Of course I love it. That's really my brand.
I love people having a brand with a designer that's like such a clear partnership.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Kate Spade, call me.
Yeah, Kate Spade. This episode could be brought to you by Kate Spade, luxury retailers.
I could be wearing Kate Spade shoes.
Right, and I could be wearing probably a Kate Spade shoelace.
They have glasses.
They'd be like, that's
actually,
what will fit you.
don't they have Jack Spade? Isn't that a
Is Jack Spade from Kate
partner
Spade?
brand?
No idea. I don't know a lot of things.
Steve
honestly.
Madden also owns Kate Spade, so.
Oh, I bought
Steve
some Steve
Madden,
Madden boots for the season. Yes, this episode could be honestly sponsored by anybody.
Could be. We are open to it.
We're open to all possibilities.
It could be sponsored by Steve Madden, or it could be sponsored by Taylor Swift, or it could be sponsored by...
I don't care. I could be sponsored by Shake Shack. It could be sponsored by
Lewis.
Swig, Van Leeuwen's. It could be sponsored by Kraft.
It could be sponsored by you if you want to send us
Yeah. We got to do a good bad advice Venmo, and then people...
You want a shout out? Send me $5.
Yes.
Honestly, that's steep. Send me $2.50.
$2.50? I was like, $2.50. It's like, you want up. All right, babes. Anything else for the episode today?
No, that's all.
Just want to say thanks to everybody for listening and getting this far. We love getting to do this each week. Mm-hmm. I adore you. I think you're one of the funniest humans I've ever met in my entire life. To you. Oh yeah, no, not you people. I don't know you at all. No, just kidding, Mom. I know it's you. She wrote me. I don't know what I said on the episode last week, but she wrote me on Sunday and said, "Just finished listening to your episode. We were no longer speaking." And I said, "Wait, what did I say?" And she goes, "Please see above message. We're no longer speaking." I was like, "Wait,
I had a
savage."
couple people tell me last week. We've talked about this before. When people tell me that you were funny on the episode, I'm like, I know. So, what about me though?
People are like, Chase, I knew you're kind of a funny, but God, Steph just gets me rolling. I'm like, she doesn't she?
Doesn't she? She's the
takes
best.
all kinds. We're kind of a yin yang, right? But both important. No one's going off on her own, right? So it's a package deal, okay?
We're on the podcast together.
Yeah.
It's not a solo journey. No.
It's a
but
joint
I
journey.
love that you think he's funny. I think he's funny too.
I know. I think Steph is hilarious. And thank you everybody for listening and being super fun. I am interested. If you have a theme for your Christmas tree, I want to know what your Christmas tree theme is. If it's a color story or if it's a theme.
Yeah, if it's like tartan Christmas.
That's what we should call the episode. We should call the episode now that I'm thinking about it.
I thought we were calling them Jessum and
yeah, I have it as Jessum Fragra, and I was going to say in the end of SAG-tra, but just to confuse people, I think we should call it Jessum Fragtra and Christmas tree themes. That way it will remind you guys to share what your Christmas tree theme is.
Honestly, people have been pretty good about that. I've been surprised.
Great at sharing.
We get to the end of the episode, I'm like, nobody's getting here.
Yeah, nobody's getting here. We see where people drop
and then you guys
off.
comment,
26
I'm like,
minutes.
Oh, you guys listened?
Yes.
You listened?
So please comment your favorite Christmas tree theme. I will include as a prompt for us in the carousel a picture of one of my, like a snippet or a zoom in of my Christmas tree, and you do the same of yours, and then we'll...
Of my two trees.
Of your two trees. We get it.
Above everyone.
We get it. Okay, love you guys.
Okay,
Bye.
love you. Bye.